Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. We're going to look at the Kaba CA25 cam action door closer. Nice big door closer with a sliding arm that's in the rail. Let's get into it. So originally we had a Ryobi door closer with the holdback function. The holdback function's actually in the elbow. It's like a Pac-Man where it goes over a ball bearing and it locks into that position. But unfortunately it didn't last very long. It lasted about 7 months and gave me problems. Now that wasn't a cheap door closer at all, but unfortunately it just didn't have the holdback function that you would expect for a holdback. Every time it clicked in, it sort of clicked out, and you could go past it and it'd jump over its holdback function. So we'd pretty much just start again, take it straight off the door. This is the Kaba CA25 cam action. It's a big box, and this product will do a better job of it. We've decided to go for the rail fitting, which is what they call the cam action. I call it the rail fitting. That's basically where there's a rail at the top of the door frame, and it slides along the rail. So the actual closer itself here is like 2 kilos, 2.5 kilos easily. It's quite a good door closer. It's got multiple adjustments, fire rating, 2-speed closing, adjustable delay, holdback option. It goes on and on and on. So it's a really rock solid door closer. That's the rail you're looking at there, what I call the rail. Quite easy to install, and the holdback function was quite easy to install as well. And a lot of little adjustments that make it go onto the door a little bit better. So installation for this actual door closer wasn't a problem. It's a simple matter of just using the template, using a scribe or a center punch and getting your screw position straight through the template. I was a little bit lazy in this one, and I didn't actually mark the top rail, but I did do the footprint for the actual door closer. So that was fairly easy. They give you a lot of different screw holes here, so I chose the four main ones. They didn't include that many screws. There was a lot of wood screws and a lot of metal screws, but it seemed like 4 was sufficient for this type of installation. So after I've marked it, I've just used the red pen just to highlight my marks, so that way I can get it in the exact spot per the template. So for this actual door closer, it's different from the other one, as where you don't screw through the door closer. You've actually got a plate to fit, and the plate has a few little nipples on it. So you fit the plate with the arrow going in the right direction. You can see on the template that the arrow is pointing towards the hinges. So on the actual plate in my hand here, there's an arrow on the right. So you screw that in that position with the arrow going in the right position, and then our nipples on the plate will line up with our door closer. And then it's a simple matter of using the metal screws to attach the door closer to the fitted plate. So now that the door closer is fitted to the plate, which is fitted to the door, it's pretty simple. We attach the arm. The arm is using this screw, which I'm showing you here, which uses the Allen key, and also it has the Loctite, so the blue on it. And to fit that to the actual door closer is simply just push it over the top and tighten in the Allen key. They include 2 Allen keys with this door closer as well, so makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to go finding your own tools. You've got the tools to actually install it. So just checking the direction of the arm, making sure it goes in the right direction. And now we move on to the whole back function. So this little part sits underneath this white part in the actual top rail where the door closer slides on. They're actually independent of each other, so they don't go together. Originally I thought, oh, maybe you put them one on top of each other, but they don't. The white one sits in its track down the bottom of the rail, and the whole back function sits in its part of the track at the top section of the rail. So they could slide straight past each other and not make any contact. So they're two, well, sorry, they do make contact when the door whole back function is active. But if it's not active, they slide straight past each other. So they've got their own tracks within this rail, and simply just putting them in there in the right direction, and then you can attach the rail. All of which these two parts do have the direction, so you have to follow that direction to make sure it's going to work properly. So attaching the top rail is fairly straightforward. You attach the nut in the middle for the slide, and on this one here we're using a metal frame, so we could use self-tapping metal screws. And it was simple as just lining it all up, making it square, and just screwing it in, making sure that it had a little bit of extra room on one side so it wouldn't hit the at-rest position. So fitting it actually to the top of the door frame was fairly straightforward. One little thing I noticed with this door closer, which I haven't seen before, is this little nut with a little nut inside of it. It uses the Allen key. So you tighten the arm into the rail using this nut, and then to get more pressure onto the whole back function, you actually use the little Allen key to go through that nut and tighten it in to lift the top of the bolt up. Once the bolt goes up, it hits the whole back function and gives it more pressure. So that was something new that I hadn't seen on previous door closers. So you simply just tighten it up as much as you can with the big Allen key, and then you align it with the whole back function, and you can tighten it and raise the tip of the bolt so you can get a good locking position on the whole back function. Okay, so let's look at the whole back function. It's this little slide part right here. It's got a black sort of button on one side. Now if you push that button in, sorry, if you pull that button away from the device, it'll actually turn the whole back function off. So if you push it in, it'll actually engage the whole back function. So once it's been fitted, you can just put your finger up there and slide it on or off. For the actual moving inside the track, it's held in by a little Allen key. So all you need to do to move it into a different position is undo the Allen key, slide it to where you want it, and then tighten it up and test it. So basically, if you want the door to hold in a certain position, you can just loosen that and adjust it to where the door is at rest or the position that you want. You can also turn it on and off. And using that little Allen key, if you need more pressure on the actual whole back, you can tighten up that screw that we spoke about previously. Okay, so now the door closer's all fitted to the door. The only thing left to do is just to adjust the speed and the closing function. There is 3 screws there that the screws that we're talking about are the gold screws, the brass screws. So they do the speed and the delay and the back check of the actual door closer. We didn't need to adjust the back check, basically just adjusted the closing speed so it's nice and softly cushioned. Also, it's a good idea to close all windows and test it that way, because air pressure can make a difference in small rooms and certain places. Looking over the box now, the actual box was pretty big. Came in at about 460 long, about 130 mil high. about 130 wide and 80mm high. Actually, on the door itself, the rail was around about 450 long, so it's quite a long device, especially in the box compared to other ones that normally come in smaller boxes. So this is just a few measurements just to roughly show you the actual product on the door. Now this door closer is available from our lock shop, drlock.com.au. Just click on store, go to hardware, and from there you can purchase it. That's our lock shop. For further information, please see the lock shop or email us. Thanks for watching. One thing I forgot to mention is to do the finishing off touches. On the slide rail, there's these two parts on either side of the slide rail which will cover up the screw holes. They simply just slide over the top and make the rail look nice. So that's important to put them on. They're included in with the box. The other one is the bottom screw arm for the arm. It's not needed, so they give you this like little dome cap there that just screws into the screw thread and just makes it look nice. The other final finishing touch is the plate over the front to cover up all the screw holes. Make sure the writing's up the right way, and that's it.